Videoblog.
Hi there, this is Tim from Twice Circled, and welcome to episode 18 of the official Big Pharma video blog. Now, this is the first vlog that I've recorded since launch, if you don't count the rather manic, sleep-deprived Twitch stream that I did on the day. So I've had a little bit of time to kind of soak in a bit of the feedback since launch and decide where I want to take the game next, and hopefully in this vlog I can explain what I'm planning to do next, as well as talk you through the latest features that I've added to the game, which will be going out in a patch that should be live when you watch this vlog. So if you've not got the latest patch yet and you're watching this, then and you've got the game, assuming you do, then yeah, go get it. Lots of nice, cool stuff. So the extra special thing about this vlog is we actually are joined by a special guest, and that's Cliff Harris of Positech Games, who many of you will know is the publisher of Big Pharma. Welcome, Cliff.
Hello, I'm the evil publisher.
We have the evil publisher on board. Amazing. How's it going, man?
It is, it is going okay, I guess, apart from toothache, but you know, yeah, cool.
Good. How has it been? Kind of busy the last couple of weeks? How has it been for you, actually? I barely asked you since the launch.
Well, I do most of the work.
Of course, yeah.
There's been a lot of counting money and other things that publishers do.
That's the main job, isn't it?
Much what we do, we just put it into different bags and
Yes.
into smaller bags.
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
Have you run out of bags yet? Because with all the huge amounts of cash
we've got an
made.
order in for sacks.
Okay,
now,
good.
Progressed beyond bags, I think, thanks to all those wonderful people buying the game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, brilliant. Well, Cliff's going to be here to basically make fun of me, probably, and interrupt me when I'm telling you about cool new stuff, but no, seriously, he's going to be making his own comments. He doesn't actually know what's in the latest, he only knows roughly what's in the latest patch, so I'm going to be showing him the new features, and he's going to give us his take on them, and hopefully also tell us what he would like to see in the future versions of Big Pharma. Okay, well, we've probably watched the menu screen for long enough now, so we should probably...
I don't know, I think it rocks. Half an hour.
It's a shame that it doesn't move. By the way, loads of people have said this. Like, I know it doesn't move. That's like a really legacy. It's not even really a bug because it's not. I know exactly why it doesn't move. But yeah, if anyone's interested in the technical side of it, actually, these pills basically just need naming. They don't have names, and if you've played the game, you know that unnamed pills can't be exported. So that's the reason nothing moves. Simple as that. And in this scene that we have created, they don't have names. Okay, so we're going to jump into a game. I'm not sure which to play. I think I'll probably play one of the quick start ones because we're more likely to be able to get to something interesting within the kind of half an hour or however long this vlog turns out to be. Do you have a choice, Cliff? Which one do you fancy?
Do quick draw.
Okay.
I don't know which it is, but I'm pretty good at quick draw, like real life cowboy.
Oh,
stuff.
okay, right, yeah.
I beat a real. I don't know if I've told you this. I beat a professional cowboy in a gunfight once and won a helicopter list.
I actually believe that's true. Yeah,
it is true. It is true. It is actually true. But anyway, what was the aim? I didn't even read it.
We just have to make loads of money. It's simple enough.
Okay, cool.
I've gone for an. You specialise in it. I've gone for an amalgamation of our two company names. We've got Twice Positech, which is the most corporate, awful sounding name ever. Okay, so we have to make $3 million, and we have to do it before the 1st of January 2022. God, that's hard to say.
I think what you need to do here is research commas.
I really wanted to get commas into this patch, and you've now made.
How difficult can it be? Anyways, I'll shut up.
No, no, it's like, don't ever shut up. No, honestly, keep it coming. Didn't I say that's mainly what you would be doing? No, I really wanted to get it into this patch, but it's. I should pause the game. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're wasting time, Tim." I keep telling you I'm hardcore. I don't pause.
I don't pause either. I think it adds a certain like adrenaline rush.
I totally agree. Like, you run a business in real life, Cliff. Do you ever get to pause?
No, I've never had a day off.
That's such a lie.
Even when I was on that yacht,
Yes,
I was working.
You can't tweet pictures from a yacht and pictures from your private island near Newquay, and then also like send tweets to me when I say, "Oh, whoops, I shouldn't have had a day off after releasing that patch," and say, "What's a day off?"
In my defence, I don't own the yacht or the island.
I know, but you can't.
That comes across so badly, doesn't it?
You can't claim you've never had a day off when you.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Okay.
But I'm old. We slow down.
Perhaps.
Anyway, look, you're. Oh no, it's paused.
It is paused. Yeah.
You're bleeding cash, but you're not.
Perhaps we should leave our domestic
I think we should.
to off the cameras.
Keep researching.
You know what people have said? The first thing they always do is they always put a scientist into. Quick draw. We've actually already got the agglomerated ionizer, so actually, let's get the creamer. It's nearly always a good idea.
See, that I'm going to actually make a relevant comment here.
You go.
That's interesting, Tim, because I tend to go for the whole research thing to do the upgrades on the individual machines, because I think it's a really kind of quick win. Because the quicker you do it, you know, the more pills you're making at a more efficient rate. It distresses me to have like an inefficient agglomerator or whatever.
You are absolutely right. The earlier you can get those upgrades, for sure, because they're making you basically $1 or $2 every single time a pill goes through or a drug goes through. So yeah, you're absolutely right. But then you've always got that thing, is if you can make it to the really big drugs, then they're making 1,000 per go. So do you optimize the little ones or do you just go for the big ones?
What I tend to do at the start, I want to be making money as quickly as possible. So I tend to have like multiple identical production lines. So I might have like sort of 10 agglomerators or whatever. So then when I do the researches for the upgrades for them, I'm like, you know, making $10 a day for that like upgrade. Whereas like if you've only got one production line and you're upgrading machines, it's kind of, is it really worth it?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If you go for, I'm all for the mass production. I think it's probably one of the early learning outcomes that you have during the game is when you realise that but you can build a lot more than just one production line of each cure. Well, the early cures at least. I should announce one of our new features actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just used hotkeys. Did you notice my mouse didn't go anywhere near the left-hand thing when I made that whole production line?
That's just amazing.
Isn't it? So this is probably my number one requested feature, along with... Yeah, probably. Well, requested feature that's not like... that's relatively easy to put in. I mean, lots of people ask for multiplayer and
make it multiplayer.
Okay.
Tick the box in Unity.
It's so easy, all right? You just tick the multiplayer box, right? So we bring in this drug here. Basically, you can press 1 to open the basic menu, and then these are basically numbered from 1 to 6, these different machines. So I can press 2 to go to evaporator, and then press tab to go to belt. And then a 4 is makers, and then 1 is...
belt is good.
Thank you. The main reason for that is so there's no clash. Like, if you press 1, and then, like... if I'd made belt 1, for example, you wouldn't be able to switch directly to belt from a machine from one of these. So it's nice that do you see what I mean? So you can go 1, and then you can go straight to tab. And then because you use WASD to do the moving, and then you've got Q and E for the rotation, you can go like 4-1 to get the... Well, that just bugged out. 4-1 to get the maker, the pill maker.
Stable new features.
I know they're not the. That's actually not been happening. That's interesting. I think it's the lower frame rate has actually, which is no excuse. Don't get me wrong, but because I'm recording at 30 frames per second with Fraps, so I think it makes the windows for making glitches happen a little longer. It's still out of, I need to get it fixed. Anyway.
Yeah, think about all those people with like ZX81s.
I know, yeah. Those...
No one listening to this will know what a ZX81 is.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure.
Poor quality computers.
Hey, you're the publisher with the analytics stuff. What's our average age?
Oh, God knows.
You're awful.
No, because we don't do that, because we're not, the average age of a buyer?
Yeah.
No, we don't do. This isn't mobile, Tim. We're not like Big Brother.
Okay, not buy
we
it.
don't monitor them. We don't know what they had for breakfast. And all
You've
that
got
kind of shit
you've
that
got
they
a
do on
little.
mobile.
Surely you've got the little analytics tag on our website, bigpharmagame.com.
Oh yeah.
Have you checked?
Yeah.
Have you checked that?
Oh yeah, but that's nonsense. I mean, like if you have like a Google account,
Yeah.
and you've been honest. I mean, on Facebook, I live in Zimbabwe. You can't trust any of this nonsense. But we don't
funny.
do a lot of that. I've never thought that it was a good idea to be like some mobile games
Yeah.
are kind of like a bit too invasive, and all this kind of like monitoring your customers is a bit spooky, I think.
No, you know what? I do agree. I like it's one of the reasons, in my last game was a mobile game, and it's one of the reasons I wanted to kind of get out of that. Is I hated that kind of half the job, if you went that kind of route, was analytics, data-driven stuff. This whole kind of just like, I don't know, just like rounding off corners, just to make it like, to target this kind of particular customer, this person who you could squeeze money out of. Whereas I love the PC indie games industry, or just PC games industry generally, because people like premium, and you can make a game with slightly sharp corners and not all smooth edges, but they'll, if you're doing something cool and different, people will kind of jump on board, and they're willing to pay, they're still willing to pay $20 for a game, which is just unheard of on mobile.
Absolutely. Although Democracy 3 does it did do well at $10. But that is very
that is the exception rather than the rule. But that is actually really impressive, though. Yeah. I just paused the game because I wanted to show you something else. So one of the other features, I'm jumping around a little bit. I'll go back to kind of like keys and stuff in a sec. But before we start naming these drugs, I just want to show you in the options menu. We now have this new. We've actually got 4 different tabs now. One for each of these things. And then in game settings, we have when product needs name, either wait for user.
That's about fucking time, to be honest.
You were about to say something nice, and instead
I realised that it was just so slack of you not to have done this.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Hate you.
Auto name. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's show you, I've got 2 different products, let's show you each of them. Auto pause and focus, okay? Apply change. Let's set this going. So over here we're going to have a drug that needs naming. So at the point that it needs naming, it automatically pauses the game, brings up the dialogue, and if we want to, we can still change it. So we'll change it to diabetes ease, why not? And then we name it. It automatically sets the game going again at that point.
Oh, well done.
Mm-hmm.
I was
and
hoping it wouldn't, so
weird,
I criticise it.
and apparently it's completely broken loads of the pills. That's so weird. This is what happens when you like add features moments before going live. Don't worry, I'll get this fixed for the main
Actual
version.
products that you buy will not be this buggy.
Huh?
I was saying the actual product will not, have these bugs. But that was only a graphical glitch, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, just about.
I know you'll fix it. but,
Yeah,
like,
no,
you
I've actually got a save game where this is completely reproducible. It only happens when it's on this setting, and I thought maybe it was a very specific thing, but it seems to happen every time. Anyway, let's change it off that setting, because that obviously causes some bugs. But like I said, I've got a save game which reproduces that, so it's super easy to fix once you've got it reproducible. So I'm sure I'll get that fixed. I'll show you the second version, which is auto name, which doesn't have that problem. It's something to do with pausing the game at the moment that you're about to try and export a pill. That's what causes that weird bug. You see it fixes itself once you leave it for a bit. Bit strange. But yeah, the pill kind of slips out the system. And we'll go for this one, even though it's going to cause a side effect, because we're being foolish.
Well, actually, that could be a strategy in the long term. We were talking about that, weren't we? Of having drugs that had side effects that we could then cure.
It's true.
That's kind of like, in the long term, something you kind of want to do.
It's true, but you got to be careful, making your drugs too good, and if you cure all of the diseases, then you won't have anything left to cure. So create your own diseases. Maybe that'll be in an expansion, or I'm sure someone.
Excellent.
Yeah, right. You actually get to create
illness expansion.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awful. But and then I think it. Oh, there we go. So that was also naming. It was so easy, we didn't even see it really happen. So we didn't actually have to name that pill. It's just called it a sugar pill because I didn't actually. I didn't
Yeah,
actually
you
do it
didn't pay any
properly.
attention to what you were doing.
No, I didn't. God, there's so many things I want to show
Sell
you
them
now.
Sweets. Don't you think? I mean, sugar pill. You know, that's basically a jelly tot. Which I don't think you can even buy anymore. Jelly tots.
I think
don't know.
well, not probably only in the UK, if anywhere.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't anyway.
All right, we'd better fix this line. And while I'm doing that, like, this is obviously a deliberate mistake because I wanted to show you one of the other new features in our control and quality of life patch or update. It's much harder to delete things by accident now. So if you right-click on a machine, it brings you a context menu rather than just deleting it instantly. You can still delete belts instantly, right? But if you right-click on a machine, it actually gives you an alternative method of moving as well.
Good.
If you prefer...
Have you deliberately made the move button bigger than the sell button?
Yeah, of course I have.
Well, I don't know.
So we're going to move that over there. Because what I realised was, actually, you very rarely ever want to delete things. It's nearly always you'd rather just move it to a corner. So actually, yeah, you want it to be very easy to move things and ever so slightly more difficult to sell. If you use the delete tool, you can still delete things instantly. So like if you know you're going to delete a lot of stuff in one go, you can use the delete tool. So yeah, you can now right click and click move to move. You can still double click on things, which is nice. And finally, on this subject, you can actually now right click, move, scroll around a little bit, and then if you decide you preferred it where it was, you can actually right click and it will go back to where you picked it up.
Interesting.
So this has directly come from feedback I've been given on the forums.
You're getting defensive, aren't you? You think I'm going to go, I don't think that's a good idea, Tim.
No, it's not that. I kind of want to say for the benefit of the people watching who might have, who knows, maybe the person who suggested that on the forum is watching this video, and or a few people have basically said, yeah, they don't like it that it deletes when you right click. So you pick that up. It used to just delete when you right clicked now, but instead it goes back. Because if you really wanted to sell it, you wouldn't have moved it. You would have right clicked and clicked sell.
I think while you're on the topic of like people and forums and their opinions, I think it's time that we put up a united front and told everyone who doesn't like it that they can't butt one machine up against another. You're just wrong. That was a bug. That was never intended.
Here's my question to anybody who thinks that machines should butt up against each other. If the original version of the game that you got had machines that couldn't butt up against each other, would you ever have said anything? Or would you have just said, oh yeah, I'm accepting that's just a rule of the game? It's only because people had it one way that they now think it's weird to have it the other way. They just got used to it, and you'll get used to this new way.
Well, I prefer it like this anyway because I'm quite an aesthetic gamer.
Me too.
And I like looking at my huge factory and all of its conveyor belts and sort of going, whoa, and thinking, yes, this is cool. Whereas if it's all a load of sort of animated machines, it doesn't. You don't get a sense of flow as much.
I agree.
I like seeing the little things move.
I like
also,
seeing.
we paid money for that artwork for all these little things on conveyor belts.
Totally, we want to show them off. Yeah, I like the little incremental changes. I'm rather proud of the colours in the game, right? Because you'll notice if you use a dissolver, it only changes the colour a little bit. You can see all these are kind of like blue colours. So that's because it's only changing the concentration a little bit, whereas if you change an effect, if you upgrade a cure, or you have a big change in concentration, then you have a bigger change in colour. And you can't see any of that when all the machines are butting up against each other. So I'm with you for aesthetic reasons. And
I didn't even notice that, and I'm even more impressed now. I pay even more for this title now.
How much would you pay, Cliff? As you are in a completely unbiased position, obviously, as the publisher of the game.
Well, as the typical consumer on the typical income, I think I'm in a position to answer this quite categorically and say I'd probably pay more for this than I would for this new Batman game. I don't know what it's called. There's a Batman game.
I know, Arkham Knight, I think.
Yeah.
It's been advertised a lot.
Apparently it runs like an asthmatic snail.
Really?
Shopping.
I'm not.
don't know.
I'm not quite comfortable enough to start throwing stones on that front, actually.
Oh, I think you should. I think it sucks. And they're just not as good at making games as me and Tim.
Well, I just mean that I've had my fair share of performance issues, that's all. So when I'm feeling a little more confident on that front, maybe I'll start throwing stones, glass houses, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, it runs pretty well.
These days, it's not bad, actually. It is massively improved. So, okay, I jumped
what
to
else is new, Tim?
Great question, Cliff. So right-click context menu, I showed you that. Like I say, that's about trying to stop accidental deletions. There's something else I've added for the same reason. One of the bits of feedback I got was the game wasn't... There was too much loaded onto the right mouse button, okay? And that was what was leading to a lot of the accidental deletions, because it was right-click to deselect a tool, it was right-click to deselect a machine, it was right-click to pan, and right-click to sell. So now we stopped it a little bit because now it's much harder to sell something using just right-click. So that's the first thing. But I was listening to this whole idea about maybe there being too much stuff on the right mouse button, and I thought, well, why don't we allow people to tweak that? So personally, I like right-click pan. It just feels comfortable to me. It's what I'm used to with from perhaps some other games I used to play when I was younger. I don't know, like not many people use it anymore, but I know I've always liked it, and it's my game. So, but now if you want to, you can use middle button for pan as well. So I've just switched that over, and now I'm holding down middle mouse button and I'm panning around instead of right-click.
Oh, that's just wrong on every level.
So no, well, somebody suggested, but the whole point is it's optional, right? So the default's right. If you want to, though, you can have none at all. And now you have no reason to ever want to do that. Oh, what? I just put that on middle. Oh, did I not accept that? None. Oh God, don't tell me that's another bug. Tim, you need to test better. Okay, my bad. Okay, anyway. So if you want to just use WASD and you don't ever want to drag to pan, then you can turn that off. So I'm going to switch back to what I want. On the same front, we've got other things you can just switch on and off. So rotate machines with the mouse wheel. Some people aren't a fan of this either. So if you turn off that, because say you always use the left and right arrow keys, or you use Q and D to rotate your machines. So I'm going to get a maker up. Now when I use the mouse wheel, because we've disabled rotation on the mouse wheel, you can still zoom while you're laying a machine, whereas before if you use the mouse wheel it would rotate it. Does that make sense?
Wow, this is just like magic.
The whole
You're
point...
wasted in games.
Shut up. The whole point of this patch is to is just add a load of flexibility, right? So you can control the game and play the game however you want to, rather than being constrained to play it the way I like to play it. So yeah, that, and I guess the most obvious example of that is actually the rebindable keys that I've keep skirting around. So we now have rebindable keys.
Wow, does that scroll bar work?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm just amazed.
you know you're complaining about the hitbox and these scroll bars. Look, hitbox, it's not actually as small as you think. It looks thin to make it look fancy, but you can do it there. See?
But can you do page up, page down by clicking above or below the slider?
No.
Can you grab it and drag it?
Yeah.
Okay. Scroll bars are a pain.
Yeah, I made that myself.
It's because, like, if you program your own scroll bars, you realise what a pain in the ass they are.
They do have, yeah. If you program them with all the features that are possible in a scroll bar, yeah, I totally agree. This wasn't too hard, to be honest. Just basically indicating the current position and the current amount that's being shown, and drag was I actually made this in about 45 minutes 2 days before release.
Well, just because you haven't done it properly, but
yeah,
that'll do.
That's reasonable. Okay, so let's change the speed controls. So by the way, speed controls up until now have been on 1, 2, 3. I've changed those because of the production building stuff. If you preferred it the way it was, you can change the keys, so it's up to you. But now it's on ZXC, so I've changed it to UI0.
Oh my god.
And
But
then
you're just changing people's whole perception of the world.
I know it's I don't know why
You're
I'm
the kind
actually
of guy that renames a pub, aren't you?
I don't know why I'm spending time showing people how rebindable keys work. I think everybody knows how rebindable keys work. Anyway, rebindable
What's
keys.
next, Tim?
So I've showed you the product naming options, haven't I? Yes. Okay. Little things that you'll barely notice, but always should have been in the game. Like if you've selected a machine and you don't like right click to deselect it, you can just press escape. I mean, it's such a tiny thing, but that used to bring up the menu and was really inconvenient. So things like that, I've just kind of like streamlined the whole control process, and I think you'll find it a lot easier to play if you were finding it difficult to before. But if you were finding it fine before, then it's not really changed in essence, and you'll be able to keep playing exactly the same way for the most part.
So what's coming next, Tim? What amazing things are in store?
Okay, so after
Is it gonna be multiplayer?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to add multiplayer because it's too hard. Yeah, no. In fairness, basically, the game's not designed for multiplayer on any front. You know, like the fact that it's got a finite tick actually means that like it wouldn't be that hard to keep it synced, but you know, it still would take a complete kind of retrofit. But I think the more important reason to not do multiplayer is because the game's not designed to be a multiplayer game. Like the AI are there to kind of get in your way and to compete with you in the market, but you know, the interaction isn't super strong, and I just don't think it really sells itself as a multiplayer game. I think you'd need to design a lot of the mechanics differently if you want it to be great in multiplayer, a lot more interactive. But
what amazing stuff are you doing instead, Tim?
Good question. So one of the bits of feedback that I've been getting is about the late game, especially the late game machines not being especially. Let's upgrade something. There's not much reason to use the late game machines at the moment, because what you'll find if you're a power player is you pause cheat. That's the term I've coined to mean when as soon as the game starts, you just get out all 3 loans, and then you just spend all of the money making like basic production lines, or maybe just get the agglomerate and ionizer and then just absolutely saturate the market. And basically, if you do that, you can win all the challenges on kind of master level relatively easily, and people are disappointed because they don't get a chance to really play with. They don't really get a chance to play with the late game machines like the Hadron Collider and the Centrifuge and the Sequencer. So
surely you need all that stuff for the kind of like the high level cures.
You do, but the players aren't incentivized by the current challenge system to go to those high level cures. So you can make the high level cures and they'll make you loads and loads of money, but because they take so long just to research that, it's very hard to do that within 3 years, for example. And it's strange the way the ranking system works is that it kind of forces good players to, because they want to get the master rank, because look, we're all a little bit vain and proud, they're kind of, they're not incentivized to get those late game machines. So here's what I'm doing. A selection of the challenges are going to be changed to be from being instead of having different times required to get different rankings, you will have a fixed time, but you'll have different goals.
Wow.
I know. Like,
that is a good idea.
It's a very subtle change, but it makes a huge difference. And I don't want to take credit, actually. This was actually suggested, I believe, by a guy called Manson, who's very active on the forums. And
you don't want to start doing this. They'll start demanding royalties and shit like that. Just say someone.
Well, I appreciate their suggestion. And that'll make a really big difference, right? Because say, I think it will be levels like this. It will be the total revenue kind of ones, the very flexible ones to do with, like revenue and maybe a number of products over a certain profit, something like that. But imagine, instead of it being, so you got to make 3 million in 6 years for the standard rank, but you've got to make 12 million in 6 years for the expert rank and 50 million for the master rank. Now suddenly, yeah, you can make loads and loads of money with some of those late game cures. I've seen people create drugs which sell for $6,000 a turn profit. But if you're having to make $50 million, actually, like, I mean, I do the maths, like 6 years. Yeah.
We're no good at maths. As programmers, we can't do basic arithmetic.
I know. Let me just create a...
Or in fact, put commas in numbers.
Shut up.
It's just like beyond this.
So anyway, it will make a really big difference, I'm certain. So that's one of the things I want to change. So the next patch is all going to be about improving playability in ways that, you know, without adding loads of new features. It's just going to be making little subtle changes. And then after that's when I start to add cool new stuff. So that's one of the things I want to do.
That's when it goes multiplayer and has Oculus Rift support.
Yeah, I can't wait to add Oculus, actually. That's going to make a really...
awesome. And there'll be zombies as well.
Yeah. Don't tell everybody about the zombies, mate. It's meant to be a secret. That's an Easter egg.
You know, one day there could be zombies. But, you know, that would be awesome, zombie DLC.
Well, there could be kind of like a T-virus, Resident Evil style.
I've never played it. I don't actually play games.
Well,
I just count money.
The idea being that there's this really infectious virus that you're having to make the cure to stop.
Before the zombies attack.
Well, yeah, and if it gets too high, then you actually just lose because the game's been turned... In fact, the zombies could slowly decrease the number of people needing every single other cure, because, like, once you're a zombie, you don't need diarrhea medicine.
Yeah.
In fact, we don't make that. Cough medicine, let's go for.
Well, I think we need a diarrhea expansion pack.
We probably do. So one of the other things I'd like to add is approval ratings. So that's to tackle a different problem, which is there's not currently enough divergence between the two paths of loads of side effects, just make as much money as you can, or going for nice cures, you know, high cure ratings, no side effects. Obviously, you currently have a monetary incentive, which is fine. But actually, I kind of don't like that you have much of a monetary incentive, because for me the whole point has always been it's not always profitable to make good cures. But the problem is how do you then incentivize the player to do it unless you give them the monetary incentive? So what I'm going to add is a new system called approval ratings. I was expecting some kind of like ooh-ah sound.
What, for me? Because
yes.
I don't approve of such, you know, wishy-washy liberal bollocks.
So with approval ratings...
I'm not really sure what you mean. You mean for, like, the company?
Yeah.
So you could be like good farmer, bad farmer.
Exactly right. So it'll be on the company tab. There's even a space for it. In fact, it exists. It's just currently hidden, right? So it's already here. It's already always been planned up here. Everybody has one. An approval rating is very difficult to... Did I actually make that cure right? I didn't, did I? Oh my god. I'm actually...
You've been churning out jelly tots.
Look at this.
Hoping to rot the kids' teeth so we big dentists we can, like, rake in the cash.
Yeah. It's actually because of the auto-naming. It's added extreme. I kind of want to keep making sugar pills and see what it adds next. Okay.
Actually, you have fixed a bug there.
Yeah.
To do with like sugar pill naming. I suppose if the auto name has like fixed it. You've run out of money. The bottom has fallen out of the jelly top market. That's just sure.
Anyway, this is a talking about new features episode. It's not a gameplay episode.
Absolutely. What other amazing new features are there going
Well,
to be?
no, let's talk a little bit more about approval ratings, because I've not really told you what I've got planned, and I'd like to hear your opinion on it. And feel free to say if you don't like it. But don't actually say that. So it will appear on the company tab, and this is actually going to be a number that's quite difficult to change. It's not going to be something that's will be going up and down very easily like your cure rating sometimes can. Like a cure rating, you can get an A rating, by just making a good cure. You start selling it, it goes up to A within a few months, or maybe a year. Whereas the approval rating is something you have to really work at, and the way you improve it is by selling drugs with good cure ratings, but also by curing certain diseases. Okay, so I'm going to completely, once approval ratings are in, it gives me license to rebalance the cure tree, and things like tuberculosis, AIDS, malaria, anti-malarial, those drugs are going to be worth a lot less money. They're going to come down in value, maybe halved in value, so that they're actually very difficult to even break even when you create them. But the upshot is actually just by creating a drug that helps there, you will generate a positive approval rating for your company.
But does that feed back into the simulation in any other way?
It does.
In terms of like branding.
Yeah. So this I haven't made like final decisions on this, but here the ideas I'm playing with the approval rating, but I do need to kind of like test and balance. So one of them is a modest improvement to all of your cure ratings as a kind of feeding back in from your approval rating. It could just make you more money because you've got a higher approval rating. My issue
That's cool.
You like that? Okay, tell me why.
Well, I like it because being a publisher and obviously evil, I like the idea that I could cure AIDS purely as a marketing strategy.
Right. Okay. Yes.
In order to sell cough mixture or something.
That does have a certain je ne sais quoi about it. Yeah. Okay.
Even Ayn Rand would approve. Probably
so,
not.
So I like that, but it does. I feel like it's a little unimaginative in terms of. You're making cures which have a slightly positive value for making a cure, and then it puts up your approval rating, which just puts up your cure rating. Do you know what I mean? It's just like this circle, and I think it's a good idea. I think we should have a global improvement on cure rating because it does allow you to do what you've just described. But it'd be cool if there was some extra stuff. So how about like random events that are tied to your approval rating, both negative and positive? So what if you had a negative approval rating, there was a random event which just made one of your ingredients unavailable for half a year because it's being picketed by protesters?
I do quite like that. Do you have the option to like send in Avatar style bulldozers and just crush them? Is that an option? I'm not saying I would do that.
No, of course
the
not.
internet kids.
I
have
haven't.
Flamethrowers. We can
Maybe we could release like smallpox into the area.
I'll tell you what. We shouldn't have these discussions publicly because then people go, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
But,
I'll
you
put it.
should be able to research new. Oh, well, I suppose you already can. But it's kind of like there's only one place at the moment we can get the excavated acid crystal.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Maybe, I guess that's the upgrade system already in place, isn't it? Because you're making it cheaper. I guess what you're doing with the upgrade is you're basically increasing the options for sourcing that ingredient.
Yeah, the way I think of it is like you're increasing the infrastructure. I think I call them. No, I don't even call them infrastructure. But so yeah, my idea is just it's like you're building a road so that you can like carry these things back to your factory via vans and ferries rather than via camelback.
Maybe what you need is the option to be able to research a way of synthesizing certain ingredients.
That's an interesting idea.
Like a catalyst synthesizer machine.
That's interesting. Yeah, maybe one which didn't have a side effect. Yeah, anyway, we shouldn't talk about this stuff because people will go, "Oh, I like that idea." That wasn't in my current plans, but
well, you invited me. I mean,
I didn't. No, you suggest anything you want. It's up to me whether I put it in.
Will it have Oculus Rift support?
So let me finish on this whole ingredient thing. Like, so do you understand what a big difference that'll make? Like, when you get late in the game, you're not just making cold stuff. You're upgrading that cold stuff into antibiotics and antimalarials, and you're selling all of them. And suddenly, you can't import this ingredient anymore. Or what if you have a catalyst that you're using to catalyze 3 or 4 different cures that you're making, and you suddenly don't have access to it? So basically, you're taking a risk by having a low approval rating.
Either. This is the thing, you cannot stockpile ingredients.
Well, not
until we release the stockpile DLC, kids.
You can't stockpile yet, but you can in a way. You can stockpile just by having a load of empty conveyor belts, just kind of snaking around your factory. Okay.
Yeah, but frankly, if that's your business strategy, then no wonder you need a publisher.
Hear me out. So you can currently do that theoretically, but it doesn't make much sense because we all know that factory space is really expensive in Big Pharma. It's one of your biggest restrictions. And so if you're wasting it on conveyor belts, it doesn't make much sense. But later, so this isn't going to be in the next patch, this might be in the next but one, maybe the one after that, we're going to be adding the drug packer. So the drug packer takes in pills, it takes in finished products, and when it hits maybe 3, 4 or 5, depending on its upgrade level. It's going to be a machine that you can research just like any other. It will spit out a little box that looks like this. That we've already got the asset.
Oh my god!
You got it?
It's like you planned this all along.
I know.
It's like a Bond villain.
Just so you know, though, it's not DLC. I'm sorry, Cliff. This is going to be included in the current version that everyone already owns.
I think we need to talk.
So, and it spits out a box which contains all of those pills, all those creams, all those syringes. And you can't ever put that box into another machine. It won't even be allowed in, okay? But what you can do is export it or store it. So you export it just by sending it into a socket, right? And hey Cliff, what's the maximum number of pills you can export for a socket per day at the moment in Big Pharma?
What's 360?
Well, per day.
Sorry. One.
One, absolutely correct.
Oh, hey, I got it right. I got a sudden endorphin rush. It was like being at school.
Whereas once you have...
oh my god, I see what you mean.
Do you get it?
Yes. So like you've got one crappy little export slot, but you can like maximise its usage by funneling. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. Because basically, if you choose to upgrade it to level 5, maybe a maximum number would be, I think, either 4 or 5 that you can put into this box. You basically can export 5 products through each of your export sockets if you design your production lines cleverly enough and get them all into the same place. And that's going to be tricky if you think about it.
I thought what you were going to say is you'll be able to put all of the finished drugs in a big warehouse and then suddenly flood the market.
No.
Like some sort of evil despot.
But you've almost got it. It's kind of like that, but I just don't believe... personally, I love the kind of simplicity and neatness of my solution to the exact same thing, which is you just store it in your factory. But suddenly, if you're storing 5 pills per square, it makes a lot more sense to actually have some of your factory space just conveyor belts snaking backwards and forwards with boxes on them.
So this is so basically what you're saying is be evil as possible.
Okay.
But stockpile loads of your drugs because you know you're going to get embargoed by hippies with placards.
Absolutely. So all you need, wait a minute. You can't stockpile your ingredients though. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem is. You haven't thought this through at all, have you?
I have. No, because there's more, right? So that's one thing. So you get you can stockpile stuff for so you can store lots of stuff in a small amount of space in your factory. But why would you want to do that? So one of the reasons you want to do that is to take advantage of different prices in the market. Because at the moment it's very hard to take advantage of different prices because you can only export one per turn. So why you just want to sell it? If you keep it in your factory, it's just you're going to have to sell it later because you're massively limited by the amount you can export per turn. But if you can dump hundreds of pills because you're selling 5 a go because you've got this highly upgraded drug packer, suddenly you can actually starts to make sense to say only sell your cold medicine during the winter, but produce it all year round.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Right? And what you're going to...
Can you also drive down the price of a cost to put your competitors out of business? Can you do that, Tim?
Yeah, well, I don't see why not. I mean, I don't know what the AIs will make of it yet, but you could definitely drive down the costs.
Have they become self-aware? Is it all running away from you?
It is a little bit, yeah. I shouldn't have put those machine learning algorithms in. Ugh.
Yeah.
You know what
they like Terminator 5.
It is a lot like that. I actually, I actually left them just looking at the internet overnight, and they went and watched all of the all the YouTube videos and Twitch streams that people have been doing of Big Pharma, and the AI have actually learnt from them. Isn't that amazing?
Mistake.
It's a lie.
What I love about you suck at your game. Not only are you losing a fortune, but here you're just importing something, making a pill and exporting it.
Yeah. I'm selling...
Anyone watching this is shouting at the screen going, no!
I'm selling Sugar Pill XL and Sugar Pill Extreme, man. I'm laughing.
Sugar Pill Ninja. Yeah, and losing 97... How can you lose 97?
So I got a loan, man. I got a loan. Look, this is like it's okay. It's not my money that I'm losing.
I know, and that's exactly how Greece got into the situation.
It's exactly the situation I almost got you into by having you as my publisher. Aren't you lucky that I spend more time running my real business than my Big Pharma one?
I think we're all pleased that that's the case. Yes. But what other amazing things do you have on the horizon, Tim?
Oh,
For example,
yeah.
can I just single click a belt now and change the color of the whole production line? Can I do
No,
that?
that's a good idea. Yeah, no, you can't, but that's a good idea. So
do that.
how would you want it to, like, maybe could we not just have it like paint and then like double click? Ooh,
Yeah, that'd be
that's gone a bit
brilliant.
weird. Look at
That'd
that.
be perfect.
God, stop
Yeah,
me. Why do I?
that's another new feature of like stacked floors.
Hmm.
Yeah, best not to mention that. Yeah,
Anyway.
I think that would be really cool. Double click, everything changes color. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. All
It
right.
is actually really handy when you've got a layout where everything snakes around each other.
Yeah.
I find it quite handy to colour the belts. Why do they cost money though, Tim? It's only paint.
Paint costs money.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good answer. Let's stick with that.
No, I don't know. I'm torn. I'm tempted to maybe reduce the cost a little bit. Maybe like so it's a nominal kind of $1. I kind of like it because it's kind of like once you've finished your challenge, what I always do is then just like paint my factory and spend all my money. But it is a bit silly because you end up spending, if you're a kind of power player, you end up spending the entire game looking at an ugly factory.
Yeah,
Which
I
is a
think
bit
so.
stupid. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. But it does. I don't know. I kind of wanted it so like if you want a pretty factory, you've got to invest in it. But yeah, I know
It's
lots of.
investment time and effort. Though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. It's true. Maybe I'll make it free. Maybe $1 is like basically nothing. Anyway,
Do you know how many people live on less than $1 a day, Tim?
these are like huge pills.
This is
the
like
si-
Gamergate, but
This
like, worse.
These are huge pills the size of someone's head, and they sell for like 46. Well, okay, this one.
That'd shut you up, doesn't it? And it's got nothing in it but sugar.
Yeah.
You're causing dental problems
Yeah,
and
I
vast
know.
economic loss. No wonder you needed a publisher. This is terrifying.
Anyway, so I know people you'd probably like that. It's not super high on my list. I'd like to add patents. That's not going to be for a little while. Yeah, like I said, this this vlog shouldn't be seen as kind of this is what's coming next. I'm going to do a blog article and actually list out what's going to come next. The next patch will probably be in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I want to concentrate on actual gameplay stuff next because I think this is enough playability, quality of life stuff for the time being.
Yeah, I think we've all got a decent quality of life thanks to you now, Tim.
Thanks.
Even those people on $1 a day, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. As long as they've got jelly tots,
Mhm.
that's all that people need.
Sugar Pill Extreme, actually.
Yeah.
That's what they're called. Yeah.
Actually, jelly tots is probably copyrighted, isn't it? We could probably be sued just for mentioning it on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube probably has that thing where it actually detects the like it can
Jelly
like
tots.
it can it can detect music, right? It's a bit like
Yeah, yeah,
Shazam,
yeah.
right? So probably the same with any copyrighted or trademarked name. So let's Apple.
See, isn't that telling that that's the first brand that comes to your mind? I'm trying to think of something really cool and kind of like ethical that comes to mind.
Ecotricity.
Body Shop.
Yeah, no, the reason Apple came to mind is because yesterday Taylor Swift made a hoo-ha about
Yeah.
stream.
To be honest, I'm too old
Mm.
and cool to. I've never heard of Taylor Swift.
She's
But
only like
yeah,
the
good
biggest
for
pop
her.
star in the world.
Really, seriously, I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough. I hopefully
I don't keep
Taylor
up
will
with
be
the hit
watching
parade and
this.
the mod-
Do you think Taylor's watching?
I a big shout out to Ms. Swift.
Your homegirl Taylor.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ms.
I think we're going off topic. I think we've strayed off topic.
Yeah, you know we're hitting kind of 50 minutes now for this vlog, so I think we should actually and it's bugging out, so I'm gonna like call it a day and go fix these bugs before I put it out.
Get back to work, you slacker.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, wanted to shout out a few more things just on my list, right? So lots of people are saying, is there going to be a free build mode? Is there going to be a custom kind of scenario mode? Yes, on both fronts, in due course. So I just want to make that very clear because I keep getting asked, and hopefully anybody watching this vlog will now know that. People also have been asking about modding. Yeah, currently you can already kind of hack the game to pieces and mod it, but I want to make that a little bit more safe. So I would encourage people just to hold off modding for a few more weeks until I get some kind of safety kind of modding features in. Stuff that stops the game patching properly. At the moment, if you mod, it will stop the game updating properly, so not a great idea. And yeah, finally, I want to just give people some, tell people where... There's a lot of different ways of contacting me. You can email me, you can tweet me, you can forum me, you can reply to my YouTube videos, you can reply to my blog posts, you can Reddit. And that's a lot of different places for me to keep track of. And I wanted to kind of say where I prefer people to contact me. So if it's really important, you can email me. If it's a bug... if it's just like a small bug that's not massively impacting your life, then post it on the forums, in the support forum. If it's... Well, look, if someone can't play the game at all because it, like, the purchase didn't go through or something like that, I'm happy for them to email me directly, because that's, like, not cool. But a little bug, put it on the forums. If you've got ideas, again, I'd say forums are a good place. And yeah, if you want news though, if you want to know when the new patch is coming out, come to my my blog. So I will always do a post about the next patch a couple of weeks before, and I'll say which day it's going to come out, and then I'll do and also I'll do a vlog, or maybe just a blog piece saying when the new patch is out as in live. So if you just want to kind of keep up to date with what's going on in the game, just stick to my blog. And that is it.
Oh my god, it went so quickly.
I
It was
know.
so much fun.
Did you have fun,
And,
Cliff? Seriously, sarcasm aside.
I seriously want some jelly tots. That's all I can think about is jelly tots. Oh, those are the days.
You know-
Yeah, I think these new features are cool, Tim. I'm sure everyone now is going to rush out and buy extra copies for their friends.
Yeah, they should do. They should do. We'll get
They
those
should
bugs.
do, because it's like 50% off when you buy 2 or whatever. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Isn't
Publisher
it
Man.
still, I think, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that is the case, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Actually, I should point out that that is the VMT Micro link. That is not the case if you buy it through the Humble widget, because they don't have that sort of setup.
This is true. That's a good point, actually. Anybody who might be holding off the game because they didn't want to buy through Micro for some reason, then we now have a Humble widget. So there is no excuse.
Yeah, Amazon payments, blah
Yes,
blah.
exactly.
Although I think you can do that through both of them now. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the important thing is not where you buy, it's that you buy.
And with that, beautiful...
On that bombshell.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy. Okay, I think we'll wrap up this. I'd like some final words from you, Cliff.
Buy the game, it's much better than all the crap games like that Batman one.
Yeah,
I haven't
cool.
played it. Disclaimer, it could be awesome, I have no idea.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, Cliff. It's been really good fun having you here, and I hope it wasn't too mad and crazy for all the people watching at home. Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.